All right, so I'm inside the all-new 2023 BMW X1, and I'm gonna start off by turning on the heated seats and heated steering because it's kind of cold outside. So you hit climate menu, heated seats are on, nice. Next, I wanna turn off that terrible auto stop start thing. Where's the button for that? I absolutely hate the auto stop start. Is it next? Where is it? All right, so I finally figured it out. You hit this button right here first, then you go into the infotainment screen, hit drivetrain and chassis, you'll see auto stop start, and then you can select deactivate once. Too many steps, but I don't mind touching the screen, but I'd rather use the iDrive controller right down. Wait, what the f? My name is Omar, and this is the 2023 BMW X1. All right, the BMW X1. This thing never really felt like a real BMW, and I'm sorry in advance to anyone that owns one of the last generation models. But what I mean is, while the X1 looks BMW-ish and the interior felt BMW-ish, they didn't drive like a BMW. Well, that seems to have changed a lot for the new 2023 model. BMW has taken the twin-power turbo 4-cylinder and has updated it to make more power. This now makes an extra 13 horsepower for a total of 241, and torque has also been increased to 295 pound-feet. And the best part is that this engine is now mated to a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission instead of a regular 8-speed automatic. So yeah, not a huge increase in power, but that throttle response just feels sharper, and that transmission helps it switch gears quicker. 0 to 60 in this will take you 6.2 seconds, which is pretty much on par with the outgoing model, but this just feels better and more like a BMW. You've got a few drive modes in here, including personal, sport, efficient, and expressive. The expressive drive mode in here just lets you have some cool interior lighting and some nice artistic displays on the infotainment screen, as well as the gauge cluster. Now, I've mostly been driving this around in the personal or sport mode, and it's done really well. It feels punchy, it feels zippy. It's not crazy fast by any means, but it does give me those hot hatch kind of vibes. It just doesn't feel as sluggish. Now, around town, the suspension is a little bit on the stiffer side, but that's understandable for a vehicle of this size. It's not meant to be a smooth cruising SUV like the X5 or the X7. That said, for 2023, you no longer have a front-wheel drive model. So if you go for the X1, you get standard all-wheel drive right off the bat. For the market that's going to be buying this, they're gonna love it. The visibility in here is good. You have a giant windshield so you can look around when switching lanes. The interior is stylish, it's spacious, it's comfortable, and we'll get to more of that in a few seconds, but yeah, this is a fun entry-level BMW SUV. Even when it comes to handling, it just feels sharper and more accurate. They definitely focus on making the new X1 more fun to drive rather than just giving you a budget BMW. And again, that acceleration is actually pretty solid. Good job, BMW. Definitely impressed by it. It definitely leaves you feeling more confident in the outgoing model. You can actually be confident and go out on the highway and switch in and out of lanes and take over traffic and not feel like you're driving something that's just an afterthought. Now, compared to the competition like the Volvo XC40 and the Mercedes-Benz GLA, again, the X1 feels like it has a more get up and go type of attitude. If you're looking for a solid day-to-day entry-level luxury SUV, this will impress you. This definitely feels more premium than its rivals. And it looks premium as well. The outgoing X1 was kind of dull looking and you wouldn't look at it twice. This one though, will definitely turn some heads. First up, thank God BMW's design team didn't go too crazy with the grille. It's definitely big, but not as big as something like those two giant lungs that you have on the 4 Series. Also, I'm glad that they kept a normal headlight design for the X1 because the X7 is out here doing its thing with the dual headlamp design where the daytime running light is at the top and the actual headlamps sit below that. The X1 here looks normal. You get 18-inch wheels as standard, but if you go for the M Sport package or the X-Line package like the one I'm driving here, you get 19-inch wheels, and this year you can go all the way up to 20-inch wheels on the X1, so that's pretty solid. And then swing around the back and you have a very handsome and tough stance. It doesn't look like a budget BMW anymore. You have these really stylish LED taillights and a bunch of sharp character lines that really make it look more upscale. And this color on my test model here is called San Remo, and I absolutely love it. I really like that BMW is offering more color options on their newer models. Honestly, I'm very impressed by the way this looks. It feels like BMW took the muscular and brawny X5 and just shrunk it. And to be honest, I feel like this is a better design upgrade than the new X7. If the updated X7 looked more like the X1, I personally don't think that would have been a bad thing at all. But yeah, in terms of looks, if you go for the X1, you no longer have to feel like you're driving something entry-level and affordable. And the same goes for this interior. The outgoing X1's interior was just plain boring. It just looked bland, it was a bit cramped. This one, not so much. Right off the bat, as soon as you get in here, it feels bigger and you feel like you have more room for your passengers. You've got a solid amount of headroom, and again, visibility is great. Now, in terms of quality, that also improves significantly. You can disagree with me in the comments if you want, but I feel like in recent times, BMW's interior quality just feels better than Mercedes and Audi. They just feel really well put together. The seats are pretty comfortable. They also feel kind of big, so no matter what body size or body type you are, you should be able to fit in here with no problem at all. Now, if you want some heating action like heated front seats or a heated steering wheel, you're going to have to get them as an option for around $500 or as a part of the premium package for $4,200. Both the driver and the passenger seat are power adjustable. The driver does have memory seats, but they aren't leather, and I don't believe you can get leather in the X1. It's all a part of the whole Sensa Tech vegan leather, but it still feels very nice and luxurious. Now in the middle, you have this floating center console, which again gives you some more room. You do have some extra storage right underneath it. But on top though, you have your gear selector, you have your start and stop button, a volume dial, and some other buttons. What you don't have, like I showed you in the beginning of this video, is an iDrive controller. That's right, this is the first BMW in a very long time that doesn't have an iDrive controller, so that means you have to touch the screen for everything. In fact, like most new BMWs, there are barely any buttons in here at all. In the center, all you have is this giant vent with a defrost button for the back and the front window. But yeah, if you want to adjust your climate controls, like change the fan speed or turn on your heated seats or even your heated steering wheel, you have to go into the infotainment to do that. I'm not a huge fan of that move, and I don't think many people out there are, but I'm okay. You can get used to it. Now, what I'm not okay with is a few other things, like if you want to adjust the distance for your adaptive cruise control or go in and turn off that annoying auto stop and start feature. The first thing I do when I drive any car is turn off that auto stop and start feature. And in here, you have to hit the button right here in the center console first, and then select a sub menu in the infotainment, and then go in there and deactivate it. That's just too many steps for something that could have easily fit right here in this floating center console. But yeah, you've got this massive iDrive 8 curved display right here, and while it moves a lot of the physical controls into the screen, it is still a pretty system to use overall. Everything is very clean and very visual. Of course, you get wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto as standard, along with BMW's native navigation system. And I find the system to be very well laid out. You can just dive in and learn everything fairly quickly. Also, the performance is great. You've also got yourself a really sharp digital instrument display. It's very informative. It has a few themes that you can circle through. And of course, it changes designs when you switch through drive modes, and you have a full screen map view. Now, what I am impressed with is that you have a bunch of driver assist tech in here. You have blind spot detection, active driving assist, all the alerts and assists. This also gets park assist and backup assistant. So if you want to back up, it can do so automatically without you touching the steering wheel. But the best part is that you have a really strong camera game. You have a rear view camera and a front view camera. You also have a 360 surround view camera, but get this, you also have the 3D surround view, which I never thought a model like the entry-level X1 would have one, but you do have it here, and that's awesome. Again, those camera angles are a part of the premium package, so it's definitely worth getting that. That package will also give you the Harman Kardon sound system, which sounds very solid, but yeah, one thing that you'll notice in this interior is that it's just very spacious and roomy, and I'm digging it. Now, before I give you my final thoughts on the new X1, let's take a look at the practicality side of things, because it's not bad. And let's kick off the practicality side of the business by checking out the legroom in this second row. Now, once you get back here, you're working with a total of 37 inches of legroom. I'm about 6 foot tall. That is my seating position. As you can see, it's okay. It's not great. Obviously, this is a tiny SUV, but this legroom is pretty much on par with the rest of the segment. Now, my test model here does not have heated rear seats, and I don't think those are even an option back here. That's kind of disappointing. I would have loved to have seen heated rear seats in this segment. I mean, now even Hyundai and Kia are offering heated rear seats in their, regular SUV, so why not here? And let's check out the cargo capacity. It's not that bad for a tiny SUV. You can pop open the tailgate by using a button located right here under the BMW logo. And once you get it open, you're working with a total of 25.7 cubic feet behind the second row. And with the second row folded, you have 57.2. not that bad for your Costco trips, which this will most likely be going on. All right, so before I give you my final thoughts on the BMW X1, let me point out a few important daily ownership highlights that I'll have to show all of you. You have a total of 4 cup holders, 2 in the front right there, and then in the back you have 2 right there in the center armrest. Here are the keys to the new X1. It's the new BMW key, and it looks really nice. Door close sound from the outside, and from the inside, solid. Charging game wise, in the front you're working with 2 USB-C ports and a wireless charger right there, which actually has a holder. Nice. Those sitting in the back get 2 USB-C ports and a storage area and some vents. Good for them. And of course, let's do an indicator and horn sound test. Indicator first. Nice. Now for the horn sound. That's solid. So, should you consider buying the BMW X1 if you're in the market for a compact entry-level luxury SUV? Yes, you definitely should. If you haven't figured it out by now, I like this car. The X1 is now available in 1 trim in the United States. It's the X1 xDrive 28i. Prices start at $39,100, and if you add on the X-Line, that will increase the cost by $500, and if you go for the M Sport package, that will increase the cost by $2,300. I'm driving the X1 X-Line here, and as tested here with a few options, you're looking at around $47,000. Now, even though there are certain aspects that make me miss the old way of doing things, this overall is a really solid vehicle. The exterior design is something you no longer have to be ashamed of, and you have these awesome new colors. The interior is very upscale, it's stylish and really well put together. And I'm shocked by the amount of headroom that you have in here. Just look at this. I think somebody on the design team is really tall and they love their headroom. Everything from the BMW X1 to the X3 to the X5 to the X7 have a ton of headroom, and I appreciate it. For somebody my height, it's great. Of course, the way this drives is also a major improvement, and it finally feels like a BMW. Again, this is definitely giving me some hot hatch vibes. If this was making north of 300 horsepower, I think this would be very fun. Maybe we'll see an X1 M35i or a true M, or maybe not. I honestly don't think they will do that. What I am upset about is that the US market won't be getting the all-electric X1. I think a fully electric vehicle of this size is perfect for the US market from BMW. But yeah, I think the new X1 has become my new favorite option in this segment. I'd get this over the Mercedes-Benz GLA and the Volvo XC40. Either way, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and on TikTok. My handle is @OmarDrives. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care. Peace. By the way, this also has iconic sounds, so there is fake engine noise being pumped into the cabin. I don't know if you can hear it, but it makes this 4-cylinder turbo sound a little bit better. There are no paddle shifters though. I've been missing some paddle shifters on this thing. I think it would be a lot more fun to drive with paddle shifters.